and 20. Pick which one you want to go with and go with the 120. Let's see, which one did you do last time? Last time you did the Grove, so why don't you do the Wizard's Tower, someone with a cat on it.
Okay. I'm only gonna need one deck.
For now, you may need the other. You'll need the other one to do your checks.
Welcome back, everyone, to a new, whatever the hell we are.
I take it we're already doing it now.
Yeah, we're doing it now.
Okay, so we'll go through that deck and pull out the 1 and the 20. So today we're going to be highlighting one of the things, a scenario that I made, which you can see another playthrough that Andy did a little while back, of the tavern scenario, designed to be played with draw 20 cards. So it's going to go, actually goes the 1 on the left and the 20 on the right. As all good things, you go upwards. You're going to go move from the 1 to the 20.
I feel like we had more space last time, but you know.
I think it'll work. And now you want to do shuffle.
Can do.
Shuffle the deck and draw 5 cards face down and put them in between.
Did we want to remove some cards?
Why don't we do this? If you come to something that you have already done, like you did last time, then we'll just draw a new card for it.
Okay.
As opposed to going and picking out the ones that...
So you want me to draw 5 face down?
Yes. And put them in between those two. Perfect. And that will be your draw deck. Now, the first thing we do is... I'll read you the text. So you're basically... The premise of the scenario is you're in a tavern. Medieval fantasy style tavern. You've been here during the day. It's getting late. You're going to head out, and your job is to get out of the tavern, but you're going to encounter things along the way. We've already got a character. You can see Andy's character sheet over there, so he's got a pre-built character sheet here, and we're going to go through. But your evening begins at 1. And so it says you've been sitting at this table for a few hours, counting your meager wages from the last job. Wages. Go over the details in your mind. Now, like with the other deck, so your the one that's the Grove deck. Yeah, go ahead and shuffle that and draw a card. And this is to determine what was your previous job. What did you just get finished doing?
Okay, this is already very like role playing to me because I don't know when the last time I was in a bar at 1 o'clock. It's been more than 10 years, probably.
That's true. I'm usually asleep then. But.
Yeah. I'm looking to go home around 8.
Yeah, exactly. Let's maybe watch a show before bed.
Let's get this wrapped up. Why am I here? All right. Drawing a card.
Yeah, slap it down. See what we get.
Draw big.
Is that a 1?
That's a 1.
It's a 1. Okay, yeah. So that's the lowest one. It's good to get those out of the way now.
Well, if you remember last time, I think I failed. You said I failed everything.
You did. You had a uniquely poor run through. So your last job was cleaning the oozes out of the sewer. You're not even sure that they were oozes. They might just have been rats covered in. You kind of shudder to think about it. But you can consider spending the money that you earned on a third bath. So go ahead and shuffle the same.
Let me ask you: Are these living things, or is this just people's
ooze? In the D&D world, an ooze is a creature.
Okay.
Like an ochre jelly, or a black pudding. They have names that still sound like they could be desserts, don't they?
Yeah. Okay,
I love Grandma's ochre jelly.
Sorry, what was your request for me to do?
Go ahead and shuffle that deck again and draw another card out of it.
Will do.
And it'll determine how much money you earned from this job.
It's an 8.
You should shuffle the 1 back into it.
I don't want to. Because that just means I'm going to draw it. I do like that 20 up there. It's nice looking.
It is nice looking, isn't it?
Here we go. 12.
12. Okay, so that means you got the highest you could out of this.
Nice.
So you earned 10 gold from the job.
All right.
So you should mark down that you have 10 gold, which is only the second least amount of money you could start this scenario with.
Mark down that I have 10 gold.
Yeah, so on your character sheet, so I think it says you have, I think you still have the money maybe from last time, but the gold is in the section down below, and there's our
there's nothing down below.
No, down. So the box in the center at the bottom of the first page there.
Here.
Yeah. So it says GP.
15.
Yeah. So go ahead and make that 25.
I'll do my best with barely a keyboard. Okay.
Excellent. There you go. So now you have that money, and we should see what your first encounter is. So you get up from the table, you walk away, and what do you see?
There's a fly on the card.
Excellent, excellent. Yeah. So right on the 20.
Something evil is afoot.
Yeah. No, I think it very easily could be.
Do you have any sort of like fly monsters? Yeah, demon. Something.
There's definitely. I think there's a couple demons that qualify.
Okay.
That sort of thing.
I'm supposed to turn this over, is what you're saying.
You should turn that top card over. Yeah. See what you get.
11.
11.
Have we done it before?
Have we done it before? That is the question. Let's go to 11. I don't think you did this one.
I've dropped a card.
Did you do the hooligans?
Yes.
Okay. Do you want to try doing the hooligans again?
Sure.
Okay. So I'm going to give you the whole scene here.
All right.
So you hear a rhythmic off-key chanting that's moving closer before you see a motley crew pushing through the crowd. They're all wearing the same red and blue striped tops. They're knitted and hanging loosely from their bodies because it looks like they're soaking wet. In fact, everyone in the group looks like they're covered in mud, and some of them have bruises and open wounds visible on their faces and arms. There's a couple taller-looking members of the group, but they all seem to be made up of mostly gnomes and halflings. As they walk, the group is chanting and clapping in time. We lose every week. We lose every week. You're nothing special. We lose every week. You try to step out of the way, but the lead halfling steps the same way. Then you try to step the other way, and the lead halfling does the same thing. Halfling steps back and says, "Looks like we got this one wants to go have a go." Let me try that again. Ooh, looks like this one wants to have a go at us themselves. What do we say, lads? You're nothing special. You're nothing special. They chant, fingers pointing. Then the halfling laughs and says, "Get him, Big Nell." A person so short you didn't see them in the crowd comes charging through, one arm outstretched in front of themselves, some sort of sports ball held close to their side in the other arm. You only have a second to react before they hit you. Make a dexterity save. So, I have an idea. So we have this concept that we've been playing with the deck of cards called the Narrowing Fate, which is similar, and it was inspired because you kind of did it earlier, is you shuffle the deck and you set it down there, and then every check you flip it over. And you don't reshuffle.
Okay. Oh, yeah.
Until you get a 1 or a 20. You can't do that with a die, but the odds change. So if you have a lot of success, your odds of failure increase. So you want to do that?
Yeah, let's try it.
Okay, go ahead and shuffle that and set that deck down.
All right, will do. All right.
And now you have to make a dexterity save. So
yes.
That's the one 2 boxes above my head.
Oh, that's small. Let's pull it up for realsies. It's a 1.
So you have a +1.
Pretty sure that's a 1.
So whatever you flip on this deck, you add 1 to it.
Okay. Here we go. And what is it? He's running at me? He's
The guy's running at you, you're trying to dodge.
The wee man.
The wee man, yeah.
All right, here we go. It's an 8.
So you get a total of 9. I believe this scenario is going to end exactly as it did for you last time.
I should have picked something else.
It's okay.
I know, I'm kidding.
Big Nell isn't very big, but his head packs a pretty big punch when it nails you square in the gut. You hit the ground, hard, gasping for breath. Nell, you made contact. You keep doing that, we might have to change our chant. You see the halfling in charge throw his arm around Big Nell's shoulders. They walk past your wheezing form. Why is that? Because I'm saying we might win a game, Big Nell. I do need you to hold on to the ball, though. I saw it rolling away there at the end. After a few minutes, you're able to breathe again, and you rise back to your feet. So you have completed the first card.
That's it.
With one check. That's it. You lost. You failed the.
I think last time I did that one, I at least dodged that because I remember there being more. I started getting pelted with balls. I think phrasing.
No, I think you do get the next thing that happens is someone throws a ball at you. You have a few checks to suffer, and then you actually have a chance if you get far enough to pick a fight with these guys. So leave that out. Don't shuffle again.
Oh, even as we move on, it stays.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, this is until we'll do this during the in a regular game of D&D. We'll do this during the night. So we'll keep flipping that card over until you get, and it does raise the tension a little bit.
Yeah. Because once you get a few good rolls,
you're not gonna get another 8. So if you ever get a 20 or a 1, you reshuffle.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So what's the next card in your pile?
Am I going to be using cards from this deck in any other way? Maybe. Well, if we wanted to draw a new one, but I'll just put that to the side. We have 16.
I know you had 16 last time.
Okay.
You're just going to just pick another one from the deck.
I drew the same. Yeah, I'll pick another one from the deck. I drew the same 5 cards.
You didn't shuffle, did you?
2.
2. Okay. Let's see if we've done 2 before. Yeah. Okay. This is a good one. We'll see how this one goes. And you'll probably okay. We'll see how this one goes. So, barmaid steps into your path. She has lovely green and red scales all over her body,
Lovely.
a thin, whip-like tail, and large, bright yellow eyes. Black irises running from the top to the bottom. She blinks, and the nictating membranes flash across the sphere of her eye for a split second. Hi, I'm Matilda. I brought you a drink earlier, and I saw that it looked like you had some success adventuring. Can you maybe help me? She asks, stowing her empty drink tray under one arm. I've been swamped today, and I need someone to do something about the rat problem in the basement. She sees that you look skeptical. Please, there's 10 gold in it for you.
Can't you see? I just got done cleaning out the slimes. Look at me. You want me to go deal with rats now?
You know, I think she recognized your level of expertise.
I've had 3 baths. I guess I'm
only
still
had 2.
dirty, so it's not that big of a deal. Oh, you're right. I only had 2. So the nictating eyelids?
Yeah, the nictating membranes are like that.
Did you have to look that up?
I did not, actually,
You
because
knew this.
I was thinking about, like, maybe that's too much. But I kept it in.
It stood out for sure,
Okay.
but not in a bad way. So this is a lizard lady, yeah?
She's a bartender. Yeah, or a server.
I say she's a lizard lady, and you correct me and say she's a bartender.
You know, I just want you to not, diminish her because
I wasn't diminishing her.
all right, Andy.
Just
Let's
trying
not
to
minimize who she is as a person.
I'm sorry, I don't want to get canceled. Okay. Well, she's asked me to help clear the. What's in
10
it for...
gold if you clear out the rat
Oh,
problem.
she's already said 10 gold, and I have 20. That sounds good. Yeah, let's go.
It sounds like a good idea. So you creep cautiously down into the cellar, each footfall producing a creak from the old wooden steps. You hear an excited squeaking and you ready yourself. The noise is quite loud. Just how many rats are there down here? As
How
you take
big
the
are they?
last step into the cellar itself, you hear one of the squeaks dissolve into laughter. Confused, you come around the corner and see a card table set up under a single hanging lantern. Seated around the table are 3 were-rats,
Mm-hmm.
each holding a hand of cards, all of them in a half-humanoid, half-rat form, and appear to have been this way for a while, given that they're all dressed in casual street clothes. One of them is wearing a bowler hat, the other 2 are wearing suspenders. The were-rats turn to look up as you come in but squeak in disappointment. If you see that lizard lady, tell her we need more drinks down here, says the one in the bowler cap. Yes, says the one who's right. Tell her to be quick about it, too. You hesitate a moment, and you step forward and insist that the were-rats clear out of the cellar. The mood in the room shifts, and they all stare up at you. What are you going to do about it? Says one of the suspended rats. The one in the bowler hat, in the bowler hat, leans back in his chair. Easy, fellas. Tell you what, friend. You beat us at cards, we'll show ourselves out. We beat you, you tell old Scaly to bring us what we need. What would you like to do?
All right. I know you can't have it super open-ended. It was a little jarring that
You do have 2 options though here.
you had me respond already though. Like I was kind of like, do I really
It's
even
true.
want to kick these guys out? They're sentient, you know? Like
Right. Yeah,
things
yeah.
have changed from what I had said, what I had thought was going to happen.
Absolutely. And I wanted this to so you have 2 options. You can agree to the were-rats terms,
Mm-hmm.
or you can try to, put some here's what it says. If you really want to try to tell them to leave again, but this time really put some oomph into it, you can make an intimidation check.
Okay. I wonder if there's any sort of option where like I side with the rats, you know?
I don't have an option where you side with the rats.
Yeah, something to think
I
about.
suppose you could.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
had
yeah.
not considered that.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know how you could play that out such that you still somehow get the gold.
I don't know if you get the gold. You don't have to get the gold.
You don't have to get the gold,
you know?
but to make it interesting, you know, or like because if you just say, "Oh, I'm not going to do this," that's not interesting. But there needs to be some sort of payoff to that decision.
No, I like the notion. I went back after our last thing and put in an option to fight almost everybody. You don't have an option to fight the rats, incidentally. But
Well,
I'll just
poker
say the
fight.
rats are also pretty extensive already.
Yeah. So, knowing my luck, I'm all in. I'm feeling lucky.
Excellent. All right, excellent.
Let's play.
So we have within the game another game that I'm going to teach you how to play.
Okay.
So this is actually the situation in which you need the die you have encountered. So you sit down and they deal you a hand of cards. The one in the boiler hat smiles. You call it a boiler hat. Bowler hat smiles, revealing huge brown and yellow incisors.
No.
In the interest of keeping this a civil game, let me introduce myself. My name's Charles. This here is Remy, and that's Rizzard. Actually, his name's Richard, but we call him Rizzard because of how much he likes a certain barmaid. Ain't that right, Rizzo? The two were-rats in suspenders snicker. You remind them that their server's name is Matilda, and they all groan and shake their heads. Real barrel of laughs you are, snorts the boiler hat. Here, let me explain the game. I'm going to just do this in my regular voice. So go ahead and take the other deck of cards, the one that you've been working as your narrowing fate deck. You're going to have to use it for this.
Okay, so I have to use the whole thing.
Pick that up and give it a shuffle. Yeah, the whole deck, because you actually do need it for this. And so here's what the so you're now going to play a card game against all three were-rats at the same time.
Okay.
Each of them will be represented by a single card. If your corresponding card is higher, you win. It's a game of chance, but each round you'll be given a chance to intimidate or deceive your opponents into folding. Since both decks are used, you should make any checks rolling a die. So that's basically what I said. Place after you shuffle it, place three cards face down to represent the rats cards.
Mm-hmm. Let me ask you something.
You're gonna, yep.
Rizzo the rat.
Yeah.
What's that? What's that about?
I don't know. That's the rat's name.
Okay. Because he's got Riz.
I went with rat names from various rat characters.
Well, I definitely got the one from Ratatouille, right?
Ratatouille, and the leader's the bowler hat's name is Charles.
What's that?
Or Chuck, you might call him.
What's that from?
Chuck E. Cheese. It's a big rat.
Got it. Yeah. No. Is Chuck E. Cheese a rat?
I actually watched a documentary on Chuck E. Cheese, and he was 100% a rat.
They were real weird with it,
and then they tried to turn him into a mouse.
Okay, yeah.
But he was a rat.
Because my kids often, the kids these days are talking about Riz. Have you heard this?
I have heard Riz, yeah.
And the Rizzler. My kids think that's hilarious. The Rizzler.
Is that like who's the Rizzler?
It's just it's someone with a lot of Riz. Yeah, you're the Rizzler.
Okay, yeah. Well,
Ben used to think it was funny. Now he's like he's turning into he's close to a teenager, so he's like,
okay,
I don't say that anymore. It's embarrassing.
Oh no, everything is cringe now.
Cringe, yes.
Out there, yeah.
Well, this dice doesn't show up. I'm going to move it aside, and I'm going to play. Sorry,
I think
placing your three. Sorry, I had important
so you'll
topics.
need to. Why don't you overlap the other cards a little bit, or maybe you can move the timeline.
We're going to need all the space.
Because what you're going to do is you're going to have three cards on top and then three cards below that. So 1, 2, 3, and then do the same thing in the second row down below. And the second row represents your hand.
Face down still?
Yes, all face down still.
Okay.
And so what you want to do is now go ahead and take the left-hand most card on the bottom row and take a look at it.
15.
And this is your first card.
I like that.
So now you have two choices. That's a good card. So you can if you think so here's what it says here on the thing. If you think your card is better than your opponent, you can make an intimidation check. It means you're making a big bet, trying to force your opponent to fold. So you make a check. If it's a check is intimidation check is better than 14, then the opponent folds and you win. If it isn't, then you flip the card over and you see if your card is better.
Okay.
So go ahead and make an intimidation check.
Was there another choice though?
The other option is you can make a if you don't think your card is better than the other person's card, you can make a deception check.
All right. I think it's better.
But in this case, you probably think your card is better.
Yeah, and is this where I roll the dice?
You roll a die and make an intimidation.
Okay. So God, these are small numbers. I'm just gonna roll it and then we'll figure it out.
12 plus. You're right on the cusp there.
What do I where do I add that to?
It's the ones directly above my head are they're in alphabetical order. So intimidation is what you're looking at. Yeah,
There's
right there.
nothing there.
You have nothing next to intimidation.
Yeah.
You should have at least a +1. I think you must have a +1 because your charisma is a +1.
But yeah, it is, yes. So I guess it should be a 1.
So that gives you a 13, and your DC was 14.
Okay,
so you
great.
do not intimidate this rat. But let's see what card he has. So now you flip his card over.
Fuck.
So you lose the first one.
Of course. I told you, Rasmus is just like one of his traits is unlucky, I think.
So we'll do now. We do the same thing with your next card. Go ahead and flip the next card.
17.
17. All right.
Going for the intimidate again.
Yeah, you try to intimidate. Although they're
nope. Did not intimidate.
You are not a scary.
I mean,
person,
I need a pretty big roll to intimidate. All right, I've won one round.
Won that. So you're 1-1. So it comes down to this next hand. So let's go ahead and flip that third card.
8. Not great. So in this deception,
I think you want to deceive in this case.
And I have again 0 in that, and it's charisma.
So it's probably also a +1 in that case.
Okay, so I need a 14.
You don't have the little dot next to it filled in, right?
I do not.
Okay, so you need a 14 or better to deceive this person.
Or I could, I guess the odds are.
Well, I mean, you get the fallback.
You get the fallback either way.
Yeah.
So it doesn't matter then. Like either way,
it does, because if you fail, if you make this check, then you just
I know, but both checks are identical.
If for you they are, but they won't be for everybody.
Yes, I understand. 19.
So right. You managed to intimidate. It doesn't matter. You can turn it over and see what he would have gotten just out of curiosity.
He would have won.
So there you go. So you win that hand. So you can shuffle that deck back together.
I'm not very intimidating, but I'm good at deceiving.
You got good cards. You're a good liar.
I'm a good liar. I'm a great liar.
Right, so while you're doing that, I'll tell you the were-rats throw their cards down in disgust. I don't like the smell of this cellar anyway. One of the suspenders says. You think his name was Rizzo? The other one is suspended.
Rizzler, just grunts
as he gets up with his friend. Charles lingers the longest, glaring at you. Then he shakes his head. Well, a deal's a deal. He stands up and joins his colleague, but turns back to point a gnarled, dirty claw at you. Better stay out of the sewers for a while if you know it's good for you. The were-rats all leave. Not via the stairs, as you'd expect, but by opening a circular grate in the corner of the room and climbing down. A moment later, Matilda comes downstairs. When she sees the were-rats are gone, she's beaming. Thank you so much. She rushes to a shelf, comes back with a large padlock, fastening it onto the hatch with a click before she comes back to you. She looks visibly less stressed. We keep forgetting to do that, and they keep getting in. Thank you for your help. Here's your 10 gold. You get 10 gold. You accept the coin, but she just stands there smiling at you for a moment. You wonder if she wants something more, and then she points to a heap of things in the corner. We've got kind of a lost and found over there if you want to go through it. It's stuff that people were either too drunk or too in love or too unconscious to remember bringing with them. You head over to the pile and take a quick rummage. So draw a card and let's see what you find from it.
Man, I'm glad I got that 10 gold because I can't go back to the sewers, so there goes my income.
Yeah. Well, I think you're on the way up.
We shall see. All right. 14.
14. Let's see. See. I think that might be. There's the threshold. Guess what the threshold is?
Is it 15?
It's 15. However, you get to make a draw on the craptacular table.
Okay. I do.
Go ahead and do the same thing. Make another shuffle deck and make another draw.
4 from the craptacular table.
4 from the craptacular table. So you find a half-eaten jar of jam that is slightly moldy.
All right. Well, I'm going for it. I'm peckish.
Excellent.
I'm drunk.
You can work around that. You can definitely work around that.
No, I don't even need to.
I mean, after your sewer work, your tastes.
All right, I'm putting my gold to 35 while we're here.
Excellent. So, I mean, you've made some money this encounter.
Yeah, this is great. I've what did I start with? 15.
15.
More than doubled, baby.
Yeah. That's a good evening's.
I might sleep indoors tonight.
The money you earned from doing a job before this stuff.
Okay.
So go ahead and let's flip the next card in your stack.
4.
4. Okay. An enormous orc, so tall he has to bend his neck for his head to fit under the ceiling, steps forward to block your path. I got a bone to pick with you, the orc growls. You can feel his hot breath on your face, smelling like smoke and raw meat. I heard what you've been saying about me, and we gonna settle this right now. What did you do to this orc? Maybe you have no idea what this orc is referring to and think this might be a case of mistaken identity. On the other hand, perhaps you know exactly what this orc is referring to and realize your chickens may be coming home to roost. You have a few choices. You can tell this orc you have no idea what he's talking about, in which case make a persuasion or a deception check, depending on which of the above realities is true. Or you can make a break for it, in which case you'd make an acrobatics check to try to escape. Or you can just ready yourself and accept the challenge this orc is throwing down.
I feel like I'm not going to be beating an orc. So
you'd be surprised.
I haven't done any combat though, and I'm kind of tempted to check that out.
All right.
But let's see. What was the first check?
You can persuade or deceive him
that he doesn't. I don't know him, and he doesn't know me.
That he's got the wrong guy. Yeah.
And the second was.
You can make an acrobatics check to try to slip past him.
So just jump out of the way.
Yeah, just like you're trying to slip through the crowd and dodge him. Or
but then I'm here for some more quests.
Yeah,
he's a dumbass. I guess he's gone. He's like a guard from a video game. Like 2 seconds later, I guess it was nothing. Back to patrolling.
Did you hear something? Did something stab you? Oh yeah.
Well, just for fun, I'm gonna try and do some combat.
All right.
I'm gonna say, listen, bub. No one mistakes me for someone else.
The orc reaches around his back, grabbing something out of his belt. You steel yourself, ready for a fight. The orc whips his hand back out, holding 3 darts. They look tiny in his palm, but they gleam. They're green fletching, well cared for. 3 throws ought to do it, the orc says. You can use the dodgy pub darts. You look behind him to see a dartboard. There are indeed 3 dodgy-looking, overused darts, waiting for you to throw them. Best of 3, like I said, the orc goes on. You win, I leave you alone. I win. You say you're sorry because of what you said. You will now have a darts competition with an orc.
All right. My hand slowly moves off my sword or axe or whatever the whatever axe you have. And battle axe. My multiple axes.
He may look big and not very nimble, but he can throw a mean dart. So this is once again you're going to create a couple stacks. You're getting all of these mini games.
Is it essentially the same thing?
It's a little bit different in that you don't have any option. But you will be adding your dexterity and your proficiency bonus to your throws. And it is you versus him. And he adds, what does he add? He adds 5 to all of his.
Oh, good.
So it's exactly the same thing. But so you flip yours.
All right.
So what is your dex plus your proficiency is 2, and your dex is 1, correct?
Yeah, my dex.
So you're gonna add 3 to whatever you flip over.
What is proficiency again?
Proficiency is how good you are at the things you're good at. So I'm giving you in the scenario I suggest that you've played darts a little bit, so you have proficiency in darts.
Okay.
So like you have proficiency in using your hand axe, and all the things that have a dot next to it, you have proficiency in those. It means you're good at it. And the level you're good at it is 2.
Okay.
So you get to add 2 to all those things. Your proficiency bonus goes up as your character gets better.
Okay. So I'm at a disadvantage.
You are.
All right, here we go. It's going to be 13.
So that's 16. Now he adds 5 to whatever he has.
16.
He
got an 11.
Oh, he got an 11. Okay, gotcha. I can't barely make the thing. So you lost that first hand. So
wait,
let's go ahead.
We're tied, right?
Oh, is it 16-16?
I had 3?
Yeah, you're right. It is 16-16. I don't have any mechanism for that. But let's go ahead
Game explode.
I'm that's a good point. You can tie.
Whoops, I have minimized the character sheet.
I've made a note. Go ahead and flip the next pair of cards. So you got
crap. 8,
and he got
probably a 1. A 1.
So you won the second hand.
He's thrown it into his own forehead.
Yeah, his the fletching's a little damaged. But go ahead and flip that one.
17, baby.
17.
14. It's another tie, right? Oh no, I
No,
won
you
that.
win.
I won
You
that.
win. You win. Very nice.
I kicked his
Um,
ass. I'm not sorry, but I would like to know. Who do you think
well,
I
you
am?
won two. It technically says if you win 2 out of 3 throws. I don't have a scenario. I'll have to work that out. So you definitely won 2 out of 3 throws, though.
Yeah.
The
You
orc
might
stand.
Yeah, you might have some like something to do if you tie or something like that.
Yeah, I
Could,
will. I'll figure out a mechanism for that. But the orc stands still for a moment, rubbing a huge thumb across his chin while he examines the dartboard. Huh? He says after a while. Maybe I was the one who was wrong the whole time. He reaches into his enormous leather fanny pack he wears at his waist and hands you something. Here, cause you won and stuff. Draw on the meh table and find out what he gives you, ignoring any number higher than a 14 and lower than a 5. Then the orc nods and walks off into the tavern.
it's interesting that because he lost, he's decided that maybe he was wrong.
Yes, that's like, well, I think the way I was writing the orc, he literally thinks that the fates have deemed that
Fates,
you know.
yes. I would like to. We never know, and maybe this is on purpose, if I actually did have met this orc and wronged him.
Well, I kind of did do that on purpose because I
It's
wanted that to
interesting.
sort of be up to the character a little bit.
Yeah.
So go ahead and make a
Yep. Got a 10.
10. Okay, that's a nice square in the middle. So you get a bracelet. He hands you a bracelet made from ivory. It's carved to look like 2 birds in mid-flight.
Ooh.
And once per day, you can touch the birds to produce an effect.
Hmm.
However, which bird is in the mood to be touched varies from time to time. If you touch the correct bird, 4 to 6 on a regular d6, it will soar into the air, circle around you twice, singing a beautiful song before returning to your wrist. Anyone who does this gets a +3 to their next charisma-based check. If you touch the wrong bird, 1 to 3 on a d6, it will peck you and make an irritated squawking sound. Take 1d4 points of damage, and you get no advantage on your next charisma check, unless you wanted people to laugh at you.
I'm picturing
Um,
someone trying to like be charismatic, hitting a bird, having it swoop around, singing a song, and everyone's like, "Oh, this guy. This guy's got the riz."
exactly. This is a Riz bird. That's what we're going to call it.
Yeah.
Um, so there you go. You can add that to your character sheet.
That's a pretty nice thing to get for a game of darts, actually.
It is. It is. It is also all of the meh things are useful but not game breaking. So
Yeah.
we do have an awesome table as well, and the things on that are a little more superior.
Well,
But yeah, like
is the idea of this is that you could play it to start a campaign?
yeah, and in fact, I set up we did a one shot with some friends the other day, and I had them all play through this initially to see what their starting stuff was. It also gives them like I think it because you're supposed to play the solo, and I think it helps you get into the head of a character too, because
Sure.
you're going to make choices as you go through this.
Yeah, that's true because you kind of want to come to the table with something in mind.
Yeah, I think it warmed up the scene for them a
Cool.
little bit.
All right, we got 14 is our next event.
14 is there's a llama in the bar. You almost ran into it. The crowd parted, and there it was, looking at you plaintively, its eyes big and sad. When you try to step away, it grabs your sleeve with its mouth and makes a pitiful cry. The rest of the crowd seems to be ignoring the poor creature. So you can give the llama a closer look. You can ignore the llama and move on, but you have to make an athletics or an acrobatics check to dodge those nimble lips. And you can, if you'd like to attack the llama, go ahead.
Why would I attack a llama?
I went in and I added attacks for almost everybody.
Okay. I have been spit on by a llama before, so maybe that's a reason to attack.
Maybe you're racist against llamas.
I don't know. Actually, it might have been an alpaca. I'm not sure what the
it,
difference is, to be
at
honest.
least, again, you're showing off your bigotry.
Yes.
Right
No, absolutely. Okay, so sorry. I can attack it, or I can try and get away.
You can try to run away from it, or you can basically examine the llama.
Yeah, I'm an examiner. Let's examine.
Okay, so what you do is you notice there seems to be a colorful blanket laid over the llama's back. You step closer and take a look. The llama holds still, turning slightly to make it easier for you to view. The blanket is a crisscrossing pattern of red, yellow, pink, and blue, vibrant and lively in an orderly and comforting way. But someone has used a dark green thread to sew something across the blanket, breaking up the pattern in an unpleasant way.
Hmm.
You step closer and realize that the green threads form words. It says, I have many faces. Some are similar. None are the same. People keep my faces hidden until they're ready to share their luck. Each of my faces kisses the back of another of my faces when I am laid down for the night. What am I?
Say it one more time. I think I know, but say it one more time.
All right. I have many faces. Some are similar. None are the same. People keep my faces hidden until they are ready to share their luck. Each of my faces kisses the back of another of my faces when I am laid down for the night. What am I?
You, sir, are a deck of cards.
Let's find that out. It is a deck of cards. The llama begins to glow with an eerie green light and then slowly transform into a shivering man, naked except for the blanket, which is still wrapped around him. Thank you, he cries. You saved me. None of these idiots can figure it out, he shouts to the bar around him. They respond with jeers or boos or cries of, I like the llama better. The man raises a hand and the blanket begins to swirl around him, becoming fairly distinguished robes, albeit of a more lively color than you'd expect from a revered wizard. Allow me to introduce myself. My name is Lepid Peel, scientist, academic, historian. I am generally a man who knows a great many things and is always eager to share that knowledge and learn more. Obviously, there are some who don't appreciate my input, such as a certain rival wizard. Arlene Dagenthorpe is her name. You may know her as Arlene the Aquamarine. Whatever you do, don't criticize her divination work. She'll challenge you to a duel and, well, let's just say that I'm known for the quality of my spells, not the speed with which I cast them. Which spell takes time and care. Oh, which reminds me. He reaches into his pocket and takes out an item. Please, take this as my thanks. You've got another item from the Met table.
Nice.
You have item number 15.
Oh, got a 20.
No, you actually get a specific item.
Son of a bitch.
And it is left.
The one time I drew a 20.
You don't get the 20. The 20 is pretty cool. The 20 is Derek's ring of magical effect. The 15, however, is Lepid's resolute raccoon. So he gives you a small figurine of a raccoon.
Okay, not a live raccoon.
No, it's a figurine of a raccoon.
Okay.
And it's got circular pieces of amethyst for the eyes, and if you push both of them simultaneously, they begin to glow. A circle of purple light will emerge from the raccoon's body, spreading out to a radius of 20 feet before fading into invisibility. For the next 12 hours, any unauthorized person, and the one who presses the eyes can think of up to 10 people they're cool with, who crosses that border will find themselves under attack by a screeching raccoon. The raccoon has the stats of a raccoon, or a similarly small nocturnal creature. Its screams can be heard from up to 500 feet in all directions, and if it drops to 0 hit points, it becomes a figurine again. If you ever remove the amethyst, then the enchantment is broken. So you have if Lepid's resolute raccoon.
If multiple people enter the radius, it's one raccoon attacking them, or do they each get attacked by their own individual raccoon?
It's just the statue becomes an attack raccoon.
Oh,
you don't get multiple things.
I'm tempted to push it now. How many people in this bar?
That's a good point. We don't have a scenario for that. But there you go. Congratulations.
All right. Well, thank you very much. I appreciate that.
How many more items do you have is it one more?
One.
All right, let's see what it is.
It's a 13.
13, for Pete's sake. Okay. You're getting all the contests tonight. You pass a crowded table. Oh, no, this is something different. Okay. This is a good one. I don't know if you did this one. All right. You pass a crowded table where you hear a drunk dwarf bragging to his friends. He's got a flagon of ale in one hand, sending a spray in all directions as he gestures wildly. In the other hand, he's holding what looks like a shiny gold coin. That's right. Wanted a battle of wills for a square. All I gotta do is flip it, and I get a trip to the Feywilds. And then I just flip it again, and I get to come back. That's super cool, isn't it? You decide to move around the table on the side that isn't being sloshed with ale. Just as you pass, the coin flies from the dwarf's hand, flips through the air, and lands with a tink right in front of you. Immediately, a glowing purple portal opens in front of you, and your momentum carries you right through. You glance down and see the coin bounce up and into the portal as well. You quickly try to turn back, but the portal is already closed behind you. You look around. You aren't in your tavern any longer, but you're still in a tavern. This one is brightly colored. The walls purple and yellow and red. The ceiling green. Wait, no, that's actual grass. There's grass growing on the ceiling. You expect a tavern to smell like ale and sweat, and this place smells like freshly turned soil and sweet perfume. There are no tables. There are logs lying throughout the room, with little nooks carved out of the trunks to make seats. These logs are rotting, mind you. The wood's soft and pliable and green with moss, bright flowers sprouting from some of the larger cracks. There are also dozens of knee-high toadstools around the room, and tables and chairs hanging down from the ceiling with tiny beings, many winged, and woodland creatures sitting at all of them, chattering happily. And the noise, singing, squealing, high-pitched screeches, and laughter from all directions. You realize that you are in a bar filled with pixies, fairies, and brownies. In fact, what you think might be a brownie is standing right in front of you, glowering. In his right hand is a shiny object, a gold coin that you realize might be your only ticket back to your own world. The brownie narrows his eyes up at you. We don't serve your kind here. The brownie shifts from menacing to bright and cheerful in a way that is sudden and a little alarming. But you're big. Bet you can really get some stuff done with all that height, and I know. Hand size. His eyes you up and down, then raises the coin in the air. You weirdos like this stuff, right? Yeah, you do. I can see it in your eyes. Tell you what, I got a problem. You want a coin. You solve my problem, I give you this coin. Deal? So, you can try to snatch the coin from the brownie's hand, although you get the sense that would be highly frowned upon. But if you really want to, you can make a sleight of hand check. The other option is you can agree to the brownie's terms.
Oh, I usually don't fuck with Faye, but I feel like I have no choice.
You want to try to steal the coin?
Well, my sleight of hand is a none, and it's a dex, which is not good. Also, let's hear him out. Let's hear him out.
Okay, all right. He pockets the coin. Actually, he doesn't have a pocket that big, but he shoves it into the back of his shirt, where it bulges out on all sides like he's trying to hide a shield.
Mm-hmm.
Here's all I need you to do. Clean the graffiti off the walls in the privy. We're running a classy establishment here. You do that, and this coin is yours. So you could still try to convince the brownie just to give you the coin, which would be a persuasion or intimidation check, which, as we know, you have a +1 to. Or you can just head to the privy and get started on the work.
I feel like there's a catch here.
The Feywild, there's always a catch.
But I do actually. Now that I'm looking, I have a 4 persuasion and a check on the box.
You give it a go.
But still, like persuading a brownie, I feel like that.
I mean, yeah. These are your choices.
All right, let's do it. Let's go for the persuasion check.
Okay. So make your check and add 4 to it.
That would be a 15.
15. That's actually a successful check.
Finally, it's happened.
No, the brownie says. I appreciate you asking for what you want, though. It's pretty much the only thing I appreciate about you, though. You're too big, and you smell like a dead horse, and your outfit looks really... I think depressing is the word I'm going for. All that is to say, I want you to do the job and get out of my bar as quickly as possible.
All right.
He waggles his finger at you, and you feel a jolt of energy fly into your body. A touch of luck. Only for use in the privy. On one check for the remainder of the event, you can re-roll or redraw one skill check, but you have to keep the result of the next roll.
Okay. All right, heading to the bathroom.
That's what you got on success. You managed to find the restroom. There is no door. In fact, there's barely a doorway. It's more of a crack in the wall that you can only see from certain angles. You only find it by asking a group of fairies. They tell you to go in 3 different directions, giggling hysterically until all this talk of bathrooms makes one realize she has to go. You find the entrance by following her in. The room is like a grotto that you might expect to find behind a waterfall. The walls are wet, the air is thick and humid, but still cool. Moss covers the walls and the ground. Ferns grow from cracks in the walls and ceiling. There's a mirror of sorts. You can see a reflection in it, but it also ripples, and you realize that it is a pool of clear water hanging from the wall. You reach out to touch it, but then you notice that your reflection isn't meeting your gaze. It's eyeing the tip of your finger eagerly. You pull back, and the reflection shrugs and then turns away, looking disappointed. It's not hard to find the offending graffiti. You see runes carved into the far wall. You can't read the text at all. It almost looks like words, but you recognize, but not quite close enough for you to turn it into anything meaningful. You are asked to clean the graffiti off the wall, but you're not sure how you're going to do that since the runes seem to be carved into the wall itself. You reach out to touch one of the runes just to see how deep they run, and you hear a voice in your head say, "Burble Cup is only a mediocre at dodging the Torito ball." The voice shatters into a cackle, and that sounds like a cross between a cymbal crash and glass breaking, which I will not attempt to emulate. You shake your head and then hesitantly touch another one of the rooms. "Burble Cup's laugh isn't at all like the crash of waves on a desert island in springtime." Again, it ends with that discordant laughter. You feel a little dizzy after touching the second rune, the noise echoing in your head. There are 2 more runes on here. You can touch the next one, or there's some other things you can do. There's 2 other options here. Do you have the option to cast Dispel Magic? I don't even think you can cast any spells, correct?
Yeah, I don't have no spells, no.
Okay. Then you can always pull out a tool or a weapon and try whacking the runes. So you really have 2 choices.
Wait, what's the second choice?
So you can touch the next rune.
Oh, touch it, yeah. No, let's whack. I like whacking.
Okay. All right, go ahead and whack.
All right, whacking.
So you do this and add this is a weapon attack. So 16?
Yeah.
Plus, what do you have for your hand axe?
Well, I have 3 for my hand axe and 5 for my battle axe.
Oh, so let's go with your battle axe then. That's battle. So that's a 20 something, right? So
21.
You needed to beat a 14. You weren't sure what you expect when you swung your weapon. You've never tried to remove a rune from a wall by attacking it.
True.
You really just expect your weapon to crash into stone, but it doesn't. There's some sort of barrier, something hovering in the air over the runes themselves. Your strike slows to a stop just before impact. Uncertain what you're expecting, you push harder, and for a moment nothing happens. Then it's like a water balloon has popped, and the magic of the runes gushes out. You feel the energy of the magic pour over you like molasses, a voice in your ear whispering, speaking as if in slow motion, "Burble Cup, objectionable." Then the magic is gone, and the runes on the wall fade as if they were never there.
Dude.
"That's too bad," says a squeaky voice to your left. "I don't think Burble Cup ever got a chance to see those." You turn and see a pair of pixies hovering in the air. The one on the right responds to the first. "Probably for the best. Burble Cup has been really sensitive since Helga left." The second pixie nods and flies off into a nook in the wall, but the first pixie pauses to tell you, "If you see Helga, tell her I hope mushrooms grow out of her ears." You nod in agreement and walk back to the bar looking for the brownie. So we have more reading. So this is a reading heavy one.
Yeah, well, it's supposed to be play by yourself, right?
It is, yeah, exactly. The brownie smiles as he sees you. "I thought I smelled magic being undone. Good work. I'd love to tell you you'd be welcome to my establishment anytime, but that would be a lie. Please get out. Here's your coin." The brownie flips the coin at you, and the portal opens as the coin lands in your hand. You're immediately surrounded by the raucous sounds of perfectly normal tavern. To your left, the dwarf is sitting atop a human man, hitting him with an empty tankard of ale. "Give him back my coin, you bastard!" You do have his coin in your hand. You're welcome to give it back to him. Or you can just keep it, in which case you can add 1 gold to your inventory because whatever magic was in the coin, it's gone now.
Oh, the magic's gone. I was like, I'm absolutely giving it back to him. I don't want this damn thing. Or it's magic.
No, it's just
I'm going to give it to him anyway because I don't want to type.
All right, so I don't have any scenario for I should probably write that up, actually.
Well, there you go. You're welcome. Well, I think, yeah, and I did it, all right? I made it out of the bar?
Yes, so here's, I'm going to go to the last page here. You finally managed to push your way out of the tavern and into the cool evening air.
Right before I leave?
Huh?
Badger eyes.
It's a raccoon, dude.
Sorry. Raccoon eyes.
You just push the badger eyes and walk out the door.
Yeah.
And listen to the screaming behind you.
Yes. Why not?
So, no, I think it's
these
a great
people.
idea.
These people have jerked me around all night.
But you can also keep the badger and use it for other purposes.
Oh, I don't get to keep it.
If you leave it, it's now in the.
Well, I pushed the eyes outside the door, and then I'm gonna sit around and wait. until they kill it, and then I'll pick up the thing and leave.
All right, that seems perfectly reasonable.
Maybe I'll hit it a few times, actually.
So you're out. There's a little paragraph here,
Wait,
but I think we've totally bypassed that paragraph
does it,
with your plan.
Does it work again after you use it?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm just going to sit outside for a couple hours, hitting the eyes, waiting till it comes back, and hitting it again.
Excellent. I think you've got yourself a
what can go wrong?
There. Lots of things. Well, I mean, welcome to Dungeons and Dragons.
Yes.
So there you go. You have once again gotten through, and it was very helpful. Like I
cool.
probably would be useful too. I'm slightly bummed that we did the one thing twice, because I don't think we got any more out of that than.
Well, I failed.
Yes,
I got even less.
I'm wondering about that is I wonder if I've set the DCs too high on that.
Yeah, there was no choice. I mean, I love the color of it. It's a memorable one, the Hooligans.
Yeah.
But
but I think it's over too soon for most players.
There's also
you have to get a 14 on your.
Yeah, and there's no choice really. I mean, which is fine if it's maybe a lower barrier to entry, but.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I agree with that. So yeah, I'll take a look at that as well. So
all right,
see, this is helpful because when I play through it myself, I don't notice these things.
Yeah, of course, because you're going to take the options you had in your mind when you wrote them.
Exactly. Yeah. So it's tough. Exactly, it's tough to find those things. My strangely my shorthand for that is the terrible sports team, which is not short.
Yeah, you gotta shorten that up a little.
It's really the longhand. Well, I've got to go pick up children before too long.
Let's end this thing. Thank you very much for watching, and we'll see you later, I guess. I don't know. I should work on my sign off. Bye.